We're here with Frank at our local Woodcraft store, and I brought him a sample, or at least, well, it's kind of a sample, of the cabinet, the gadget station that we're making, to show him the scenario and why it's unique. And basically, I want to just get his advice on what hinges he might recommend, what other options are out there, and what things, more traditional hinges, might not work in this scenario, because it is kind of a unique setup here.
When you're choosing your hinges, and one of the first and foremost, I think, especially in doing a project like this, is aesthetics. How good does it look? Some of these hinges that we're going to talk about are very easy to install. I think anyone can just pick them right up.
I designed this based on, I made it look exactly the way I want it to look and said, okay, now what hinge can I use for this?
Correct.
Which can bite you in the butt sometimes, but I think in this case we've got some good options here. So I'll put this down so it's not in our way.
So let's talk about some of the hinges that are available. I don't think necessarily that they're all suited for this project, but let's talk about them.
Okay.
That's a big advantage over every other one of the ones here, because you're going to have to do some sort of mortising work, some fancier work. Here all you really need to do is lay it out properly.
Okay.
This is probably the most common hinge right here. It is a standard butt joint hinge.
So it just seemed like the most logical thing. But yeah, the craftsmanship behind these, it takes some skill. It's essentially an inlay, really. You know, so you're inlaying that into the wood, both the door and the frame, you know, the body of the cabinet. So. And
one of the challenges is when obviously you're going to be putting in two, these have to be perfectly aligned. So if you had a heavier door in particular, you may not want to choose these.
Okay.
Yeah,
full-size
exactly.
deadbolt, so that looks very strong.
The package and the website doesn't really give you what the rated value is on how much weight you can put on it, but if you just put them in your hand, you can feel the weight and the strength of it. It's substantial. You'll be able to put a pretty heavy door on these.
Yeah.
The holes aren't as consistent, and the holes have to be perfect.
Yeah.
These are all countersunk. There is no movement on there. There's no adjustability like there is on these. If you're off, you got a problem, right? You put the certain style, and then you fall out of favor, or it comes out. And people can go, oh, that looks 70s there.
Yeah. Well, I guess if it's possible, you shouldn't necessarily have to notice the hinge. If you can keep it as inconspicuous as possible, you're probably better off anyway for design purposes.